Hey guys, I'm Joe Theo with Vid Authority. In this video, I thought I would quickly go over some easy ways to improve your description and make it look more professionally organized. Not necessarily what to type in the description, but rather using different types of symbols to break up the description, make it so people are more drawn to different links, and that sort of thing. Let me explain what I mean. So a lot of times for really big YouTubers, you'll notice that their description looks really good and well organized, and you might have thought, how did they really do that? Well, I think a lot of the times what they do is they use special characters called Unicode, which is the universal character set that most computers use. This includes letters, numbers, special characters for different languages, but it also includes symbols like boxes, triangles, even little emoticons. So you can actually use those to your advantage to draw people's eyes down to the description, make it look more interesting. Let me jump right into some specific examples, and I'll put a link in the description to where you can find these different symbols. Now, as you might notice in my descriptions for all my channels, I have little triangles pointing down that says join the conversation. And that's because most of the time I have a few lines that are actually the description of what the channel or video is about, but below the third line, everything's cut off. So if I were to just put links to everything below that, or even put a blank line to separate stuff, people might not even know there's more links to show more. So what you can actually do is on that third line, put a little call to action to get people to know that there's stuff below it. And I personally use little triangles, but there's a ton of different symbols you could use. And then also on the next lines, when I have all the links listed, I use some sort of bullet. Now, I use little triangle things that I found. I don't exactly know what they are, but you can use circle bullets, you could use triangles, you can use anything and style it yourself so that it looks just a little bit more organized. It looks more attractive, so people are like, oh yeah, this looks like a good list of links, or something like that, instead of just mass text, and you can't even really discern between the different links and read anything because it's all jumbled together. And in addition to little shapes and symbols, there's actually box drawing characters of some sort that are basically just thick lines that you can use to kind of separate into sections. I have that usually at the bottom of my descriptions. But there are so many other symbols. I mean, there's thousands of characters in the Unicode standard. I have not looked at them all, but usually you can just get away with using the basic geometry shapes. If you go and search on Google Unicode shapes or Unicode blocks, or Unicode triangles or something like that, you'll pretty much find exactly what you're looking for. And there's even little airplane symbols, I think, shamrocks, that sort of thing. So you can pretty much find a lot of stuff. Just don't use like emojis from a phone because those are not standard usually. So if you use a smiley face from an iPhone, it's not going to show up. So definitely don't use those. Now, I do want to point out that I'm not really sure if you can use these types of symbols in the title. I've never done this because I'm not totally sure about the status of it. I don't really see people doing it that often, which kind of makes me think that there's a reason for that. So if I were you, just don't put them in the title, stick to putting them in the description, and don't overdo it, or else it might be considered spam. So just kind of use the basics as bullets, as little dividers, and don't fill it up with a bunch of symbols. I've never really heard of anyone getting in trouble for using too many symbols, but it's probably good to just play it safe. And yeah, I guess that's really all there is to it. I hope you guys found this helpful, and maybe you can go ahead and apply that stuff right now. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments section. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know you guys liked it. If you want to check out some other videos on the right-hand side, you can either click them or look in the description for the same links, such as if you're on a phone. If you want to subscribe, I try to make new videos 3 times a week, so it should be worth it, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. So thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Have a good one.